Hey guys, it's Rachel. I know this video is really late. I did make a video yesterday when I got down to London. My laptop has decided not to switch on, so I am using my girlfriend's laptop and webcam, and then her laptop played up last night and the video didn't record, and by that point I was just so knackered that I just thought I'll just do it today. So I apologise for it being late. And as I say, I had kind of made a video and then the computer cut out, so I'd actually pretty much finished my video. So I'm going to try and remember some of what I said yesterday. Okay, so this week we're taking a break from the rota, and we will go back to the sixth week of the rota next week. On Tuesday, the 8th, it was International Women's Day, so I kind of suggested that we kind of made this week a little bit about that. I did mention on my video on Tuesday that wasn't to alienate our male viewers, which you know, I just kind of wanted to take advantage of the fact that it was International Women's Day, and use it as a week, and try and just expand on the day and use it as a week really. So today what we kind of decided together was that we would use International Women's Week, and obviously International Women's Week is about celebrating the achievement of women over the last kind of 100 years it's been, and I guess with that regards there's quite a feminist stance to it. What I will say is that I think feminism does have a bad rap, and there's a lot of stereotypes, as there is with you know, mental illness problems, and a lot of stigma, and to me feminism is just about equality basically, and is about us celebrating ourselves as women and being allowed to be the women that we choose to be. And I also think that it incorporates the success of women, and success for different women is very different for them. Like, for each person their success is unique to them, and actually last night there was a programme on BBC Three that we have over here in the UK called Working Girls, and it actually dealt with two very successful women who were in the fashion industry, both designers, and they took on as an intern two girls who were incredibly demotivated, didn't want to work, had no intention of working, had no desire to work, and it was actually a really powerful hour programme actually, because it focused on women encouraging women. I don't think that in the workplace that we have to be biased to having male employees, but I think there's something incredibly powerful about a woman setting up her own business. And the woman in question is a designer who designs swimsuits, and she took on this girl of 19, and she worked alongside her and she mentored her, and that was how she got the girl to be motivated. This touches on, and what was dealt with in the programme, and what I was saying on my video, which I did record yesterday, that we are probably our most powerful when we are together. Illness of any type, specifically on this channel, eating disorders and eating disorder recovery, alienates you and makes you incredibly isolated. And what being part of something tends to do is unite you with people who you connect to. A number of people I speak to with eating disorders or self-injury problems or what have you, or depression, have felt isolated. They didn't feel they necessarily fit in at school. I was somebody who, I did have very close friends, but I didn't want to do a lot of what the other girls did, which did alienate me. And part of what's made me the person is today was my ability to stand up to that. And I'm not saying that it was nice, but just because I felt isolated and cut out from what they were doing didn't mean I went and did what they were doing to be part of that. So I think that what can stem with an eating disorder from that kind of not being part of anything is a means of self-soothing, which is unfortunately becomes quite destructive. I used the idea of a really tight bud yesterday, and I basically said, if we each consider ourselves to be this tight bud, okay, and in illness, and relating this to sisterhood, which really isn't a term we use over here, but kind of the united front that women can take from, like, brotherhood, from, you know, we're all part of this universe. You're this tight bud. And then when you start to recover, you open a little bit and you let a few people in, right? Those people are different to everybody. It can be best friends, it can be family, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use the example of my illness and who I let in, okay? I'm not going to use family because I know a lot of people have family problems. I started to let in a small select few people who also struggled, okay? Because I didn't particularly know very many people. As I let those people in, my horizons expanded just a little bit more, okay? And then I let people with a greater issue come in. That expanded a bit more as I started to engage and want to recover, okay? So at that point I was meeting people, sharing stories with them and finding ways to help myself heal, okay? As I healed, my network expanded even more. I began to let more people in. I began to let my university friends in. I began to let my old friends in, right? So in each circumstance, I'm attached to people because that's normal. And I'm expanding and my trust, and I'm kind of starting to bloom a little bit. And then I recover and I say connect with the girls on this channel who are certainly a long way into recovery or recovered. So Kel, Ariel, Felicia, okay, and the other girls, of course. I'm just kind of mentioning them because they're the ones I have the most contact with. And then it goes past that and I expand even further into a place where, because I want to be a professional in this field, I start to know fellow professionals, and this just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And what I think it is it's like going from a very small bud and blossoming, and that's how I see it. And for us to be well in whatever circumstances there are in our lives, whether it's eating disorders or whatever, we need to allow people in. We need to trust people who we can trust. And more often than not, when you have somebody who is recovered, you will find that they don't necessarily have, they may have a huge amount of acquaintances, but people have a group of people around them, they feel safe and they feel trusted. Now, within the scope of eating disorder recovery, I've got friends who I don't talk about any of that with, okay, and they serve like a different purpose because you can't expect to get everything from one person, okay? So you have different sets of people maybe in your life, friends you go to university with, who you know, you get on with, it's nice to spend the day with. The people I'm closest to happen to be the people who've recovered in a similar way to me, Ariel, Kel, as I was saying. And they're the people I trust the most because I know that they've been there, and it's easier to talk to them because they've been there. So I see myself as being part of a number of different communities, and on the biggest scale there is, I see myself as being a woman in this world, okay? And with the prolific numbers of eating disorders and the epidemic proportions that they are in, and young girls growing up and developing eating disorders even younger, and the pressures they're feeling to not only be perfect physically and to look perfect, but to achieve whatever perfect is, get the right grades. You know, women, you know, are expected to be able to work full-time and raise a family when both things are just absolutely chaotic, and then are made to feel bad because they can't do that. There is so much societal pressure to be something that none of us can be, that, as in my video on Tuesday, it's ridiculous to be able to expect ourselves of those things, okay? So when I'm talking about the bigger picture of it being International Women's Week, let's celebrate who we are, like I said on Tuesday, and what we do achieve, rather than getting wrapped up in what we don't achieve, okay? So I see myself as part of a group of women who want to change this, who desperately and with passion and conviction want these young girls, young women overall, older women, whatever, younger than me, older than me, to feel part of something that's saying, do you know what, I am good enough. On my blog I have a link to numerous Facebook campaigns which now have websites and all the rest of it, which are about this acceptance of who we are as women. And the only way we're going to change that is by all linking together. And because on your own it's very difficult to convince yourself that you're worthwhile, especially with the difficulties that we experience with an eating disorder. We need other women, strong, confident, beautiful women around us to say, do you know what, you are amazing. And when we have that fall down, to say, yes you are, and for me to say, but you are amazing. And that's what we need to be able to do. I'm going to leave this now, and I'm going to get it uploaded because it's like Friday. So I hope I've made some sense. And what I do want to say to you is that you are part of something. Even if you just watch these videos, you're part of that community, and you are more than welcome to contact us and feel a connection to something. And I think that's really, really important in recovery, to feel part of something. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it and I'll speak to you next week. Okay, bye.